Okay, this is number 60 on section 5.1, another nice identity. And if we look over here, if we look at the structure of the problem, we see we've got two terms on the left, one term on the right, two factors but one term, so we're going to have to combine this. So I'm going to probably have to make this into one fraction and add these up and then simplify, and hopefully I'll be able to make this work. So it looks like the least common denominator for these fractions would be sine x cosine x. So we'll take this first fraction. I guess I could rewrite it. Sine of x plus the cosine of x all over the sine of x, and then minus the cosine of x minus the sine of x all over the cosine of x. And then I need a cosine sine, so I have to multiply the bottom of the top here by the cosine. And then here I multiply the top and the bottom by the sine, I guess. Okay. So do that and see what happens. And we got a lot of multiplying to do, so let's take care of all that. So we'll draw a big old fraction bar here, and then we've got the sine of x cosine of x on the bottom. That's my denominator. If I multiply out using the FOIL method, I've got sine cosine. Or not the FOIL method, pardon me, the distributive property, excuse me. It's just a mono becomes a binomial, so it's a distributive property. Sine x cosine of x. And then I've got plus cosine squared of x. And then over here I've got negative. And this is a negative sign, so it's going to be a negative sine x cosine x. Oops. And what's a negative times a negative? That's a positive sine squared of x. So that's this big old thing over here. And does that equal this up here? Well, right away I notice I've got negative and positive right here. So those will cancel. So I'll write this out just for fun because this is nice to see whenever it happens. Cosine squared of x plus the sine squared of x all over, that's all that I have are these two terms here. Cosine and the sine squared, okay, of x. All over the sine, cosine of x. And does that equal, that's my question mark, I guess I'll write it down here so we can see a little bit better. Secant of x, cosecant of x. But what's this? This is our nice Pythagorean identity. This is going to be 1. So I just have 1 over the sine of x, cosine of x. Now what I can do to make it a little bit easier to see is I can think of this as 1 times 1. And I can break this up into two fractions. 1 over the sine of x times 1 over the cosine of x. And that equals the secant of x times the cosecant of x. Okay, this is the secant of x. And this is the cosecant of x. Cosecant of x, secant of x. So we've got our verification, okay? So that wasn't too bad. And again, we're using that Pythagorean identity, and after you do this for a while, then you really get to like this guy here. This guy's really nice. Okay? And again, more algebra. So we get a good chance to review our algebra. Okay, hope those help.